Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to another episode of the Journey Podcast. I have a really special guest today, Mario Macias, who is one of the OG PTBI alumni students. Mario joined sometime July or September in 2020. So when PTBI was just a few months old, he was just a kid off the block, really didn't have much going on, was bussing tables back from my hometown, and we got connected. And he pretty much drained every single dollar he had into PTBI and gave it all he's got. And 2 years later, he's built a over six-figure business. He's got a really awesome team out here in San Diego, and he is living his absolute best life. So wanted to bring him in on the podcast to show you guys what happens when you stick to the business long term. The beautiful thing about Mario's story is that, he's had time to be a seasoned entrepreneur. He is no longer a beginner who's hitting his first 10K months. He is now almost 2 years into his business, which is really incredible because I've been able to see him grow through many stages of that business. So Mario, welcome to the show, man. I would love for you to give yourself a quick little intro, and then we'll go ahead and dive into your story.
Appreciate you, man. That's quite the introduction. I don't know if I can do better than that, but Mario, 22 years old. When I joined you, I think I was 20, turning 21. And I mean, we're from the same hometown. So I grew up in Salinas, California, mainly Prunedale, went to North Monterey County High School. And before COVID even hit, I was a server. So I was serving, I was working construction with my dad. And I did not know what the hell I was doing. I was what I call an entrepreneur. Like I was reading books, I was watching YouTube videos. I was like doing all this shit that was productive, but like not really going anywhere with it. And used the pandemic as like a way to really leverage myself, I guess, like get ahead. Like I noticed that the world was on pause, and I was like, you know what, this is my time to like, fast track somehow. Like, let me just fucking work my ass off and get somewhere. And I was doing that with construction. I was actually on track to take over my dad's business, and something didn't feel right about it. Like it was just a business already making over six figures. He had the jobs, he had the workers, and it was kind of just being handed to me. And that's when you hit me up. We started talking a little bit, and I knew you because Jose told me to hit you up. And but at that time he was an AC of yours when you were fitness coaching, and I just saw Jose go full time. So that's what really intrigued me about it. I saw Jose go full time, and then I seen him at the gym one time. And this is before I knew him, and he just seemed so fucking happy. And I guess that day when he did come in there, he had freshly quit from his main job. And I just saw the life in him. And I was like, fuck, okay, well, I'm going to hit him up. I'm going to see what he did because I've always wanted to do something with fitness. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I knew I wanted to start my own business. Just didn't know how. I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know if it was YouTube or supplements. I was just like, fuck, I want to do something with fitness because it's the only thing I really know. It's the only thing I understand. It's the only way. It's like my only outlet. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, Jose told me to hit you up. We got on a call and the rest was history. I was like, fuck this, it was a scary investment, but you painted the picture pretty clearly. Like if you just do this and you stick around long term, like eventually it won't make sense not to be successful with it. And I mean, I just trusted him and said, all right, let's do it.
Awesome, dude. I will say when we first got connected and we hopped on a call, I did not think that you were going to join. Just because you're a young kid, you're from my hometown, and if anybody who's listening from this understands Salinas, it's like it's a lot of people who don't take a lot of action. And so I was just like, I'm just gonna pitch this kid and see what happens. And you ended up pulling out credit, maxed out a credit card to get in on the program and started your business, which is pretty incredible. So let's talk about where you were before COVID. So were you going to school at all? What did the path look like for you before even COVID started?
So before COVID started, after high school, I tried to go to school because it was like, what you do after school. I saw everybody going to colleges. Originally, I wanted to go to San Jose State. That was like what I wanted to do. I had grades for it. Like I could have made it, except senior year. But it was a possible thing. And then my parents were like, we don't have the money. Sorry. Like you're going to have to pay for it yourself. And then when I found out how much it was going to be, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to do this, especially not knowing like what it is that I want to do with my life. Mm-hmm. So I tried to go to MPC. I dropped out. Tried again, dropped out. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna serve until like I find something and something that's worth putting all my time into. So I was serving, I was making good money, I was happy. But the thing with serving and just kind of working in the nightlife is it's so easy to get stuck in this constant loop. Mm-hmm. It's fast money. You're getting tips, you're making like 200 a night. You're around alcohol all the time. You go out, there's always a reason to go out. It's somebody's birthday, it's Friday night, it's Wednesday night, fuck it, it's Tuesday night. Like there's always a reason to go drink. And it was cool. I worked there for 3 years and I loved it. I had so much fun. But like real quickly, I started to realize like I don't want to do this forever. There was people around me that were 30 who had been working there for like 5+ years. I'm like, fuck, if I don't do something like this, is gonna be me. Um, and that's when I kind of started to really be an entrepreneur hard. Like I started diving into podcasts and everything. And eventually I got the idea, you know what? Construction's my thing because school wasn't my thing. I was serving for too damn long. Maybe construction is the thing. Maybe this is what I'm passionate about. My dad's been doing it forever. So that was my path for a while. I truly believed it. And it wasn't until one of my friends called me out at like a small cake bag. He's just like, hey man, you're doing construction now? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm taking it over. It's gonna be cool. He's like, oh, that's weird. I just remember you were always saying that you were gonna do something with fitness. And that shit hurt. Like I thought about that for freaking weeks. Um and yeah, man, COVID hit. I lost my job. While COVID was happening, since we didn't have I wasn't working a server job anymore. I was doing construction full time. I did that every single fucking day. So I only had time to think because I was working in the mountains alone for 12 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do that in 90-degree weather, like, dude, all that's running through your mind is like, what the fuck am I doing here? And yeah, man, I had a lot of epiphanies when I was doing construction in the middle of COVID. It was definitely a weird time. So when your opportunity presented itself, I'm like, what do I have to lose? Like, I'm not doing anything. I'm taking over a business I don't care about, and it's not fitness.
Yeah. Okay. That's awesome, dude. So it sounds like you're kind of lost leading up to the decision of PTBI, but you knew that you wanted to do something for yourself. We just didn't know what that thing was. There's a couple of stories I remember you and I talking about that have always stood out to me that I want you to share. One of them is the story of working at 17 Mile Drive, what you used to tell yourself when you were an employee there. What was that story and how did that impact you?
So that's something that's been on my mind a lot lately, like more than usual. It's kind of like I'm remembering it all again. Um, when I was little, my dad had a main house on 17 Mile Drive. It was right there on the golf course, a $10 million home.
For anyone who's listening who doesn't know, 17 Mile Drive is like the Beverly Hills of where we grew up. It's like the private gated community where the multimillionaires buy their estates and kind of section themselves off from the rest of the world. Yeah, it's like if you have a house on 17 Mile Drive, then you are living on your own private island out in the area that we grew up in. That's where like the elite live. So go ahead and continue.
Yeah, 70 Mile Drive is freaking beautiful. And people know it as Pebble Beach. So if you know golfing, that's where Tiger Woods, all the famous like celebrities go out to play concourse. So that's like all the supercars coming out. It's freaking beautiful. And it's just like like you said, where all the elite are. And my dad, he managed to get a gig just taking care of like maintenance on the house. So that he had on retainer. And I get a lot of my entrepreneurial blood from him just seeing it. He started literally mowing lawns and then eventually built his way up to houses on 17 Mile Drive and eventually got retainers on these houses, like multiple. But he would always take me to work. Weekends, winter break was not winter break. It was going to work with dad all day. And I just remember like these houses were so goddamn beautiful. It was right there on the golf course, $10 million, and they didn't even live in it. And I would just picture myself because like they would come for vacation sometimes and they would be inside while we were working. I'm like, fuck, I wonder how I look like from inside of this house. Like, like if I lived inside this $10 million home, how do I look like from the outside in? And I would just imagine myself just living in these homes. And I would always fantasize about it. So I'd be working and I would be working and actively thinking, how do I look like while I'm working and not paying attention? It was so weird, but it was always on my mind. And yeah, it's freaking beautiful out there. Those homes are gorgeous.
I love that. I think that's early onset visualization. So you were practicing visualization before you even intentionally did it, which is pretty funny. I actually did the same thing. I would imagine my number one dream when I was first getting started was to buy a house in 17 Mile Drive too. So I thought I was going to stay in Monterey forever before I moved down to San Diego. So I totally know what you mean. But let's lead up to the events, joining PTBI. what did you learn that made the biggest difference between who you were before joining and who you are afterwards? What did you learn that really changed the game for you and allowed you to finally see success in your business and also see success in building, your ideal self?
I think one of the main things I learned was really just taking action. As simple as that sounds, just like, oh yeah, cliche, whatever. But it's really the driving force of it all, because like I got on the call, you didn't even think you were gonna sell me, and I was just like, dude, just tell me the price so I can give it to you already. And
Mm.
I kind of move that way a lot of times. It's like I don't want time to think about this, because if I have enough time to think about it, I'm gonna convince myself why not to do it, and then I'm gonna stay in the same place. It happens often. So now every time like there's not an opportunity, but like when I know this is the outcome of something is probably in my best interest, I just jump on it and figure it out later. If I have the money, I'll figure it out later. Money comes and goes. Like you can always figure something out. And that was the first time. It was the first time that I succeeded with it, because you really paved the way on how to stick to it. So I hired a mentor before. This is something I didn't bring up in the beginning, but I tried building an agency for marketing and I failed miserably. I actually went extremely depressed mode and drank a lot, smoked a lot, and I kind of like lost myself within that, because I burnt myself out and I felt like a huge failure. So this time it was kind of scary, because I was going to be doing it again and actually paying more than my original investment. I was like, fuck it, dude. I just have to take action. If I just sit here, then like, what am I doing?
So this was your second chance investing in yourself in the second business after you saw failure.
Yeah.
What do you think got you to stand back up on your feet? Were you scared? Were you nervous? Like what was going through your mind taking that second chance?
I was definitely nervous. I was like, what if this fails again? The main reason I was like terrified is because the first business I tried to start up, I had never felt like such a failure in my life, and like having people believe in me and like convincing them that I was going to do something and completely falling out on it, like I felt like shit. So, convincing Ivana, my girlfriend of 5 years now, like she believed in me that I was going to start up an agency, and like, she supported through me all. And then that shit crashed and burned. I was like, well, fuck. Like, I
What
just
so
don't
what
quit.
what do you think was it though? Why did you fail? Did you quit? Did you not take action? Was the system broken? What was the reason why it wasn't success?
There was no passion behind it. It
Mm.
was solely for money. And it's funny because I was always passionate about fitness, and fitness was always the like thing that I avoided.
Mm.
So you just presented something that I was avoiding for so long, and if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Interesting. So like, so even though the system was solid, even though like the program that you had joined was a solid program, it just wasn't a good fit. And because of that, it just didn't go anywhere.
yeah, because I've seen other people in that group have success, but I kind of feel like they just brought in anyone and anyone.
Mm.
And like I had no idea what the heck I was even getting myself into. So they definitely weren't the best mentors, but at the same time, like I feel like if I really cared about it and I had passion behind it, I could have figured it out.
Okay.
um,
I like it. So you said something interesting there that I kind of want to dive into. You said they weren't the best mentors. And I know now you have had a handful of mentors. You've gone through PTBI, you've worked with Reeve Coleman, you've worked with Kendall Strample, you're now working with Jason Phillips, and you also have, other people in your network that you connect with. So for you, what defines a good mentor? What do you look for in a mentor? What checks the boxes for you? And how would you define a good versus bad mentor?
oh, that's a good question. So after having multiple mentors and some not being the best, I'm definitely able to differentiate them, which is good now. I think one is having a solid framework that's been proven to work over and over again, and having those testimonials that show that you're getting shit done. So a big reason why it was so easy to sell me is because I remember seeing Jake Weber do it and Ali do it. And I was like, okay, if these guys can do it, I can definitely do it. Like, what makes me any different? Like, why can I suddenly not do it? And you have a buttload of testimonials too, which is fucking great. You go on your account, you scroll, and it's just nonstop. And like that itself is proof. And ever since then, like with every mentor that I've hired, I'm like, okay, where's the social proof? Even my most recent one, like where's the social proof? What's the framework? How do you guys do this? Because that plays a huge role. Like if you have a system that you can just plug in with each person and it works, like there's your blueprint. All you have to do is follow it.
Good. I love that. That's a great answer. So if there was someone who is potentially looking into hiring a mentor themselves or joining some type of program, and let's say they have 5 calls lined up with 5 different coaches and 5 different programs, what advice would you give them to make a decision based on what's going to be a good for them? What should they look out for?
Definitely red flags. Like if you go on somebody's account, there's no social proof at all, and you're just like, okay, are you going to give this guy, a big investment? Because I've done that. I've definitely invested in somebody who didn't have any social proof and just believing word, and it really backfired. I ended up getting my money back, luckily, but that's not going to happen for everybody. I think social proof goes such a freaking long way, and just like, are they proving that they're doing what they say they're doing? And that goes with fitness coaching as well, like just posting transformations and any client testimonials that you can get. But I think the social proof and yeah, the framework, I think that's huge.
Perfect. I have another question for you. So you have a pretty strong team. You've taken your business not just to 10K, but you've taken it beyond 10K. You have people working underneath you. You have full-time employees as well. And you've also been around for about 2 years. So you've seen coaches come and go. What do you think? What do you think is the difference between the coaches who stick with it and see success long term and the coaches that are a flash in the pan? What makes the difference?
I think you just need to be resilient with it. You told me from the start that if I stick around, like it's not going to make sense and not to be successful. And if you allow yourself to freak out when, the boat gets rocky a little bit, like when there's a little bit of turbulence, then you aren't going to see the other side of it. So if you just, and you talk about this in your book as well, it's just like one more week, one more week. If you just have that mindset, just take it day by day, not be focused on the outcome. Like, oh, I got to hit a 10K month. I just got to, post content, show up on your story, message people, like do what you have to do. Then those results are going to show up, because it's only when you're not doing what you have to do daily that the results don't start showing up. And like, I think it's putting the cart before the horse, where we're always focused on the outcome before we're focused on things that, produce those outcomes. Mm-hmm. So just being resilient, like being okay with those ups and downs, like don't freak out. It's part of the process.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about some wins. What are some of the biggest wins you've had since joining the program or since starting the business and joining other programs? What makes you excited about, your business? What do you love doing? Let's talk about some positive notes about you, this new version and this new life that you've created yourself. What kind of freedoms do you have? That kind of stuff.
Okay, so this is awesome because if you give me enough time, I can write a million different things. One is the new identity that you build up and the confidence that you have. Like there's a certain level of confidence that comes when you choose to make a decision and like take up on that decision and not care what anybody else thinks. So it might be a little bit scary to be posting on social media and stuff, but the confidence that comes with saying like, fuck it, whatever anybody says, this is me, this is what I do. Like you hold yourself to a different standard and you think about yourself a lot more highly. So that alone produces a ton of confidence, which is, kind of priceless. You can't just go buy that. You have to take action in order to feel that. Another one is being able to move to my favorite city in the world that I didn't even, I visited this place for like a very short time and moved like a month later. So being able to live here has been amazing. The people that I've met are like I already know their lifelong relationships, and just the amount that I've grown in 2 years has been astronomical. And that all stemmed from making a scary decision that could have failed me. So that alone, I get a lot of fulfillment knowing that I'm building a team now, and there's people that believe in me, and that people that they trust me, and they trust not just in what I'm doing, but like the vision as a whole. That we are painting up of something a lot bigger than just coaching. Like, okay, this is what we're doing, and they're all for it. So becoming a better leader as well, I think there's a level of confidence that comes with that, and a certain level of fulfillment that I would have never felt. I don't know how you would feel this type of fulfillment any other way. If that makes sense.
I totally know what you mean, man. I would say the confidence that you build as a business owner far exceeds any kind of confidence that you can get anywhere else in life. Like if I could do a double backflip in front of a group of people, I don't think that I would have the same amount of confidence that I do as being my own boss. Um, it just feels like I'm a dog that has not been castrated. You know,
Yeah.
I got my balls, and it feels good. So I know what you mean. It's definitely more confidence than I built even in the gym too. Um, so, question for you. What's on the horizon for your team? What are you now focused on with your business? Whereas before, you're focused on, getting your first few clients and learning how to take sales calls, learning how to post content. You're well beyond that now. You have a whole team that helps you, so as a CEO of your business, what are you focused on and what are the next steps that is going to take your business to the next level?
Yeah, so we are extremely excited with taking a step back. We really don't care about how many calls we're booking and stuff, because like that's gonna happen with just doing the work every single day. Like I said, showing up on our story, posting your content. We're really focused on client delivery right now, and the client journey from the moment they start to the moment they're done with us. And we want to provide an experience that's so damn freaking good that nobody wants to leave. That's like our main focus right now, building a community where people feel safe and come together. So we do plan on doing retreats in the future. We have a lot of clients that are already getting to know each other and stuff. And, that I'm getting a lot closer to, a couple of them that we had for a year already. So our main focus right now is just like, let's build a badass team that everybody is proud to be a part of. And with that, naturally we're going to grow because people like community, people like being a part of something that they share the same values and like friends with. I don't know. That's the number one thing we picked up in Virginia as well. But it's a little bit not different. But like you said, in the beginning, I was just focused on getting clients. Like, let me get some clients so I can provide testimonials. And now it's like, let me build a freaking team where people are proud to be a part of. Like, let's build a brand. Let's get some merch for these clients. Let's provide a sick experience for them.
Absolutely. So building the community and building the actual culture of your business.
Yeah.
I will say, I always say it too, is like, people come for the results, they stay for the community.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so if you want to build a 7-figure business, you have to master retention. And in order to master retention, you have to give people a reason to stay. The number one reason why people will stay with your business is that if you give them a community that they can't get anywhere else, and you give them an identity that they can't get anywhere else. Right. What businesses have strong identity? Starbucks, for example. Starbucks versus Dunkin' Donuts, those are identities that people embody. Like you're either a Starbucks girl or you are a Dunkin' Donuts girl. And so if you can give people an identity with your business, people are going to stick around because it becomes who they are. So it's really epic that you're able to take a step back from like just learning skills, and you can actually start to chart the future of your business, which is really exciting. Anything you want to add in on that?
No, that's literally our main focus. Like we've taken everything off our plate. We are not focused on, because I was actually, my plate was loaded. I was trying to do a million different things. And now we've taken a big step back. We're like, no, the only thing that matters right now is building this community, building retention, and just making sure we provide the best experience possible. Anything else is pretty much a distraction at this point. So it feels good having this level of focus, but it's not easy having this level of focus. Like it's so hard to just do one thing or one or two things, because I want to do a million different things, but I know myself, I spread myself thin really easy if I allow it.
So you used to live with Jose. You guys pretty much got started together. What was that like, having someone, literally in the same walls as you, doing the same thing, starting at the same place? You guys kind of became, buddy when it came to growing your business, but I'm sure it was kind of competitive too, but obviously in a good way. So what was that experience like, and how did that affect your growth of the business?
Oh, I hated him, man. No, dude, it was honestly our superpower. Like we leveraged the hell out of each other. We helped each other tremendously. And since the beginning, it was all about business. Let's move in together. Let's help each other out. Let's mind our own business. And from it, we build an amazing, amazing friendship. He's somebody that is extremely close to me, and it just comes from going through a lot of the battles together. So we would always say like the trenches, because like it literally felt like the trenches. There was times where we're like, fuck, bro, have you booked any calls this month? No, fuck. Like it was scary times where we didn't know if there was going to be enough for rent and stuff. And somehow we always came up winning. And that's what I mean about like, you can't let the turbulence shake you, because it's not you're not going to start off making a ton. Like you have to build up to it. But if you stick around, then yeah, you're good. But there definitely was that competitive, like friendly competition. We're always trying to one up each other. Still are. We're still trying to one up each other.
Yep. Yeah. I had a very similar story with Sumner. It's very much the same. But that makes it fun because like when you have company in the trenches with you, then when it gets so bad, it's not as bad as it could be. Because at least then you can laugh at each other and laugh, like you can have fun inside those tough moments. So that's really beneficial. For anybody listening to this too, if you guys are starting a business, highly recommend you getting some kind of accountability partner. You don't have to move in with them, you don't have to move to a new city with them, but if you just have someone that you could reach out to. I even myself have friends that are on my level or even levels higher than me that I reach out to when I'm stressed and I'm in a situation where things are getting tough too. So it does make a big difference. But Mario, we are running out of time. What advice would you give to anyone who's starting their coaching business? You are now 2 years into your business, which means that you are no longer a newbie. You are a seasoned veteran and you have already built a six-figure business. So, what advice do you have for people who are just getting started?
Just freaking start. If you go on my account, scroll down to when I started, and chances of me making it were slim to none. I had like 400 followers. I had no post. And somehow I was able to do it. And if I'm able to do it, you are more than capable of doing it because I didn't have a huge jack body. I had no following. I did not use social media at all before I met Zakk. It was just like 3 pictures that were there, months apart. Um, like if I was able to do it during COVID in the middle of winter, moving to a new city, like you're gonna be fine. It's just about believing in yourself and like crushing those limiting beliefs because you are gonna doubt yourself, but just throw it out the window. Like you choose your identity, and if this is something that you've thought about doing or is kind of on your mind, there's probably a reason. Like listen to that.
Beautiful. I love it, man. Where can people find you online?
Just Mario Macias on Instagram. It's going to be 2 S's after Macias.
Awesome, brother. Well, everyone who listened, thank you guys so much for checking it out. We'll get you guys in the next episode. Peace.